Give me your purse.
Stop!
Please stop! Stop fighting. Get up, come on. Up! Right here, come on. Let's go.
Bring it on home. Great time, officer. Hi, I'm Dr. Dave Beaver, director of the LawFit program at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. In the next few minutes, you are going to see the new work performance test for entry-level police officers, designed by the Physical Issues Subcommittee of the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services. The subcommittee was composed of Sheriff's Department personnel, police administrators, line officers, academy staff, and law enforcement fitness specialists. The work performance test is based on input from law enforcement personnel throughout the Commonwealth who participated in the recent Department of Criminal Justice Services job task analysis for entry-level police officers.
Your perpetrator has on a blue hat and a red shirt. Blue hat and a red shirt.
Blue hat, red shirt.
Blue hat, red shirt. Ready? Go.
Go!
Now that we've demonstrated to you the work performance test in its entirety, we would like to go through the course and describe each of the job tasks in detail. All right. Stu?
Yeah.
You ready? All right. Prior to the start of the course clock, a monitor provides the officer with two pieces of descriptive information identifying a suspect. The perpetrator has on a blue hat and a red shirt. A blue hat and a red shirt. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go. At the command go, the officer's first task is a 25-yard sprint to a 3-foot jump. The jump is followed by another 25-yard sprint to a 5-foot wall. At the wall, the officer must lift him or herself over the structure without using the side supports. Upon clearing the wall, the officer proceeds 10 yards to the next obstacle, a structure 24 inches high and 10 feet long. He or she must low crawl the 10-foot distance without touching the top of the structure. After this obstacle, the officer sprints 25 yards to the next task, a stair climb. For this task, the officer must climb an 8-inch step utilizing a 4-count movement. Left foot up, right foot up. Left foot down, right foot down. The task is completed at the end of the 12th 4-step movement. The officer then runs 15 yards to the next task. Here the officer must climb through a window 36 inches above the ground. The window space is 30 inches high and 36 inches wide. After going through the window, the officer will need to identify the suspect who was described prior to the start of the course. 4 suspect posters are located 10 yards from the window opening. From the suspect identification station, the officer sprints 15 yards to the next task. At this station, the officer moves a 150-pound simulated victim 5 yards. An underarm lifting technique must be used to protect the head and neck of the victim. Now the officer must run 20 yards to the final task. Here the officer picks up an unloaded double-action firearm with his or her dominant hand, extends the arm fully while placing the barrel of the weapon through an opening 6 inches in diameter, and pulls the trigger 1 time. The officer must now repeat the procedure using his or her non-dominant hand. Timing stops when the officer puts the firearm down. Having described the tasks in the work performance test, we would now like to demonstrate a variety of techniques for successfully negotiating each obstacle. Additionally, we will show you what can disqualify an officer during the test.
Okay, Elizabeth?
Before timing begins, the course monitor will provide 2 descriptors of a suspect to the officer. The description is repeated twice by the monitor.
I'm going to give you 2 descriptors, and I'll say it twice, then you repeat the descriptors back to me. You ready? The perpetrator has on a blue hat and a blue shirt. A blue hat and a blue shirt.
Now the officer repeats the identifying characteristics back to the monitor.
The perpetrator has a blue hat and a blue shirt. A blue hat and a blue shirt.
At the command go, timing begins.
Go.
With the first obstacle, a 3-foot jump, the officer must be sure to clear the taped boundaries at both the front and back. Stepping on either line will be considered a disqualification. When clearing the wall, a variety of techniques can be used. However, use of the side supports is not allowed. With this first technique, the officer uses leg drive to spring up, and an upper body pressing motion to get to the top of the wall. From this point, he or she can either step on the top of the wall or use a straddling motion to clear it. A second variation involves the officer placing his or her forearms on the top of the wall, and then using the straddling motion to clear it. The third variation is to drive upward with the legs. Lean forward over the wall and use the body's momentum to complete the task. The final variation involves the officer hooking a foot over the wall and then using his or her leg to pull to the top. At this obstacle, officers start from a prone position, pulling with their arms and pushing with their legs. They must stay as low as possible. Hitting the top of the structure with the body is a disqualification. For the stair climb, the entire foot must be solidly planted on the step. Stair climbing where only part of the foot contacts the step will not be counted as a successful movement.
That's what they do.
To go through the window, the officer can use the bottom or sides of the frame for support.
All the way through. Excellent. All the way through.
Placing a hand on top of the window frame or on top of the structure is a disqualification. For successful completion of the next task, the officer has one chance to correctly identify the suspect who matches the description that was given prior to the start of the work performance test. An incorrect identification disqualifies the officer. The rescue task requires the officer to lift the victim under the arms and protect the head and neck. Moving the victim is easier when officers use their legs for lifting and keep the victim's body closer to their own. A rescue technique that does not protect the victim's head and neck is a disqualification. The final task requires the officer to fully extend his or her arm when firing the weapon. The barrel of the firearm must extend through the 6-inch opening. The officer will be disqualified if he or she cannot fire the weapon with either hand, fails to place the gun barrel through the opening, or hits the side of the opening with the firearm.
With this work performance test, the Department of Criminal Justice Services has been able to ensure a consistent quality of training for its entry-level officers who will be fit to serve the citizens of the state of Virginia.
For further information about the work performance test, you can contact Mr. Ron Besant of the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice Services at 804-786-7802 or the LawFit program at George Mason University, 703-993-2071.